Please have a seat and sit with your feet on the floor and turn off all of the cell phones and focus on your breathing. Close your eyes, focus on your breathing, and we're going to have a little time of just quiet. We are in a chamber of sacred geometry which is highly conducive to going within. When I say going within, I'm speaking of going within to our soul selves, our very essence of selves, our capital S selves. It is a place where we are left free to receive. Our feminine energy is at its highest in a sacred geometry chamber. There are a lot of factors where the ions or electrical energy here makes it easier for us to go within. The normal chatter of our minds, great instruments that they are, can be released if we focus on our breathing rather than on our thoughts. The pyramid has been a wonderful blessing for many years. We built it in 1997, and we've had many gatherings here, many weddings and births and yoga. We do the summer and winter and spring and fall gatherings to celebrate the season changings. We come here every day to show the tourists from all over the world what we have here in the way of a wine cellar and why we have the wine cellar here and the effect of the sacred geometry chamber on the liquids, which is an amazing phenomena. We've learned over more than 25 years now that the pyramid changes the liquid so that the essence of the liquid comes forth. If you put a wine in here that has flaws, it will accentuate the flaws, and wines with good qualities brings out the good qualities. It does not necessarily make things better automatically. It just brings the essence of the liquid out. We learned with experimenting with open frame wooden pyramids that it is the frame and not the sides that has the energy to change the liquids. We built wooden pyramids and photographed with time-lapse photography plants growing in a clockwise motion under the open frame pyramid versus the same kind of plant a little ways away growing helter-skelter. We put in unhomogenized milk and it turned to yogurt instead of rotting. We put in meat and it petrified rather than rotting. And we've had more than 25 years of experimenting with wines that sometimes if you put a wine in, again, I mentioned it before, with a flaw, it will make the wine like cooking wine. You can't use it, can't drink it. But the wines that we make so far, knock on the wood, have been beautifully made. We go to every length to make the finest wine in the world, and I don't say that nonchalantly. We've just won some amazing awards, and we've been winning amazing awards for over 25 years. We've won the best sparkling wine in the world in England and in France, and just less than 2 months ago we won the best Chardonnay wine in the world with 38 countries participating, and 2 weeks ago we got 100 points in LA with 33 countries participating, and that's an unheard of award. We are probably the most awarded small winery in Canada. We are the most visited winery in Canada, and we love hospitality. We think of ourselves here as a model of man and nature. Recently we've just introduced a new video showing Alessence, the nature spirit herself, blessing us for the work that we've done. We are biodynamic, we are organic, both in the vineyard and in the cellar. We are permaculture, which is giving back to nature, not just being sustainable, but actually giving back. All of our food is organic, our restaurant, our catering, our weddings, all of it is organic. So we also have more than 40 acres reserved here on on the estate for animal and plant reserves where the birds and the animals can flourish. We originally set out, my partner and winemaker Eric von Krosek, to make the finest sparkling wine in the world with grapes from Europe grown in this pristine valley. And we stumbled into visiting all of the great sparkling wine houses of France and Spain and Italy, and we noticed that there was a phenomenon that they all participated in called the marriage period. When you take the original cuvee after it's fermented a second time in the bottle and you put it through the dosage, which is the sweet reserve, you need at least 30 days for the dosage and the original cuvee to marry. And they always put that wine in a Roman art cellar. There are many, many miles of Roman art cellars throughout Europe. Spain's Codanu winery has more than 30 miles of underground Roman art cellars. In Italy, there are, I don't know how many miles of it. In Germany, many of the sparkling wine houses have the Roman art cellars, and of course in France. And I noticed that those that had the original gas lamps instead of electrified, my hands started to tingle in them. And I said, oh, we need sacred geometry to make the finest wines in the world. We want to have a chamber that's, going to be just like that, so we don't, or so that we enhance the flavor of nature. And sure enough, we couldn't build a Roman arch here. This land here is all sandy. So I went to the next, what I thought was lesser than a Roman arch would be a pyramid. And actually a pyramid is, I think, a much more powerful statement of Roman art, rather of sacred geometry, because it's absolute precision. And sure enough, the pyramid experiment has been phenomenal. We taste the same wine at the same temperature, one having been in the pyramid and one never being in the pyramid, and everyone unanimously, 98%, choose the pyramid wine because it smells better and it tastes better. So yeah, it's been a phenomenal, wonderful, almost 26 years now of experimenting. In a chamber such as a pyramid, you can actually measure the aura. I need to put this down to demonstrate it. But if you would take your hands and put them out in front of you without touching, you can automatically feel the energy between your hands. And you can do this experiment in a square room or outside. But it's measurable what you can feel. If you put your hands up to your neighbor, again without touching, you can feel their energy. The pyramid is a five-sided figure, the floor and the four sides, and of course the frame's very important. And it relates to a circle. It's about geometry. And our bodies and life is about geometry. We are all sacred geometry. It's all related. If we come into a chamber like this, or a dome or a Roman arch, these are other forms of sacred geometry. It's very easy for us to go within and to be a conduit of spirit, I call it, in touch with what I call the loving universal consciousness that pervades and is us as all one forever beings, if you will. In the traditions of the First Nations people, the original peoples, we celebrate life and death, and there is no death, so to speak. We are ongoing forever. And this is a beautiful phenomena that comes out easily and is welcomed in a sacred geometry chamber. I urge everyone to think about pyramid grids, pyramid-shaped buildings, pyramid hospitals, prisons, schools. Schools would be great because the boxes that they put our children into are not conducive to learning. They yawn and get tired, and they don't have the negative ions that helps open their brain. We are electrical in nature. We need those those little architectural helpers to open our receiving end and our intellectual end as well. So those are things that I would go into, but mostly I want to say that yes, a pyramid is something that may not have been mainstream to talk about only a few years ago, very shortly. But today, we all want to know who we are. We all want to have the essence of who we are. And these subjects are opening beautifully. And I'm happy to say there is a grand ascension for humanity on the way here.